I always sit here with like this thing next to me because I use this to focus my camera, because I don't have any of that fancy camera equipment with like a remote and a screen down there to see how I'm looking or anything like that. I just have a camera, a tripod and a roll wrap. And a roll wrap. So sophisticated. Hi guys, welcome back. I hope you guys had an incredible Christmas. I know I haven't been on here for a couple of weeks. Long story, I'm not even gonna bother. I just need a little bit of a break because lots of other stuff was going on. And in case you didn't know, this is literally just a hobby. I do this in my spare time. So if other things become a little bit overwhelming, like in the run up to Christmas, then this is usually one of the first things to kind of lose priority in my life. And unfortunately that does happen occasionally, but stick with me, I always come back. But yeah, I hope you guys had a great Christmas. We are now in that time of year between Christmas and New Year, that like really weird week where some people have it off from work, some people don't, some people are still working, some people see like lots of family, some people just like to do nothing. It's that weird kind of time of year, but it's also that time of the year where the beauty people in the world, the people that love their makeup and their beauty products, sit down and tell you about their favourite products of 2018. And that's exactly what I'm doing today. I am going to be telling you my favourite makeup products of 2018. If you want to see more things like hair care, body care, skincare, let me know as well. I'm going to be completely honest with that kind of stuff. Most of the time none of that really changes, but also I'm really lax with that. Makeup is usually where I spend my time shopping and stuff like that. So that tends to be where I want to talk about the most. But obviously if you do want to see that, let me know and I can definitely do that as well. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please pop in the comments what your favourite products of 2018 are if I haven't mentioned them at all. I'd love to try out some new products in 2019, but not in January because I'm putting myself on a self-imposed shopping ban in January. Fingers crossed I don't drive myself crazy. But yeah, I'd love to know what your favourite products of 2018 are, or let me know if you've tried any of the ones that I'm talking about today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join me. I'm really wanting to get to 60 subscribers before New Year. I'm only like 3 away, so please hit it. And yeah, without further ado, let's talk about some of my favourite products. Okay, so I have realised looking at this, most of this is like drugstore priced, which is good. That's a happy coincidence. Wasn't meant to be, but most of it is. So handy for our wallets and purse strings, isn't it? Anyway. Okay, so I'm going to start with base, and the first one is obviously primer. So primer that I have loved this year, there's been a couple. There has been the Clarins SOS primer, which I have really enjoyed using, but a few months ago you guys would have seen I found a pretty good dupe for that, and one that I'm actually enjoying more, and it is the Body Shop Instaglow CC Cream in Peachy Glow. It's not marketed as a primer, but it is a really good primer. It preps the skin really nicely. It does add a little bit of colour to it, so I don't necessarily wear this on my own because otherwise my skin looks very pinky. But it just kind of evens out the skin tone quite nicely. It blurs your pores, which is something that I love with a primer. I definitely need that around here, and this does that. And it keeps things in place all day as well. It's just a really, really nice primer. It's very affordable. They do them in different shades as well, so if you have other skin concerns, so for example if you do get a lot of redness, they do a green version of this. If you have dull skin, they do a lilac version of this, because it is a CC cream, it's a colour correcting cream, but it's a really, really good primer. I like it a lot. It's very affordable and I have been using it more than the Clarins one. Okay, so for base, I'm going to give an honourable mention to the IT Cosmetics CC cream because I love that. That is insane, and I got that in September and I have worn it an awful lot since then. However, there is something that I've had a bit of a longer love affair with. There's something that I got at the beginning of this year that I still wear most days and I love it, and it is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. In the UK you can only get this from Amazon, I believe. I flippin' love it. I've got like hair stuck to my lip. I flipping love this foundation. I remember the first time I wore that, it had been a bit of a shit month. It was back in February. I was tired, I wasn't really sleeping very well, and I tried this for the first time, went around my mum's house and she just went, "You look really healthy at the moment, you look really like bright and awake." And I was like, it's this stuff, because it's not me. It's not me at all. And I've just loved it ever since. It just applies beautifully to my skin. It gives a really beautiful, healthy glow without making you look really shiny. It lasts really well, the coverage is great, it gives a very airbrushed look and feel to the skin. It's very lightweight. I love it. I am so impressed with this. I really hope that they bring it out properly to the UK so that it is a little bit easier to get hold of. But until then, I'm going to be continually repeatedly ordering this from Amazon because it is definitely become my favourite base. And again, it's really affordable. I think it was like $7.99 from Amazon when I get it, so I love it. For concealer, I think this is the same one as last year. I have tried some different concealers this year, so the Revolution Conceal and Define has been one that I've been wearing a lot, but I keep going back to this one, and it is the Bourjois Radiance Reveal Concealer. I don't see a lot of people talking about this, but I really like it. It brightens under my eyes like nothing else. And I mean, it doesn't have the same amount as coverage as the Revolution one, but I don't always need that coverage, and even when I use the Revolution one, I tend to still put this on top just to have that brightness because I really like what it does under the eyes. And it lasts really well as well. It's just very lightweight. It's supposed to be hydrating. I hadn't really noticed it, but apparently it's supposed to be hydrating. It's just really nice. This is like my third tube of this, I think. I love it. I'm going to continue to repurchase it. It is definitely a favourite, and I would highly recommend if you haven't tried it already and you get quite dark circles, this is really great, really brightening underneath. Powder, I think, is one that hasn't changed from last year as well. I cannot remember. But it is the Glossier Wilder Powder. I flippin' love this stuff. And I mean, I've had this for over a year. I use it every day, and there's still so much of it left. I keep thinking I'm going to run out soon. But no, it's all still there. It's all there. There's loads of it. I don't think it's going to run out anytime soon. I love it. I'm going to be honest, I bought it for the packaging because it looks like a superhero, and also because Rach from Rach Loves was like really going on about it. I love the fact that it's got like this kind of sieve thing in it. Obviously a lot of loose powder is generally loose and can be messy, but I feel like this sieve just tidies everything up really nicely. I just love how this makes my skin look. It is coloured, so it does add a little bit of extra coverage, not too much though, so you don't look cakey, but it just makes my skin look so airbrushed and smooth, and it fills in all my pores. I love it, and I have been loving loose powders this year. I was really into the Rimmel Instafix matte powder last year, so I think that might be my favourite. I can't actually remember, but after using loose powder and then when I go back to that one, I always feel like my pores aren't quite as filled in or as airbrushed as they are when I use a loose powder. So for me, this is great. I have also been trying out very recently the Body Shop loose powder. That's also a really great one. I've been doing them side by side on my face with this one to see if I can tell a difference, and I can't actually really tell the difference, but that is very recent purchase. This one I have been using all year, so this is definitely the 2018 favourite. Let's talk about bronze and blush, and I feel like they need to be talked about together because they're from the same line, they're from the same set. So for bronze we have the L'Oreal Back to Bronze bronzer. I flippin' love this. I really like it. There is another bronze that I have been using recently, which is from one of the MAC Shiny Pretty Things face palettes. I do love that one, but again, this one I've been using for longer. I still reach for it a lot more than probably the MAC one. The MAC one is in a palette which is potentially limited edition, so I didn't really want to talk about it. But this is still a really good bronzer. It's just the perfect tone for me. It's the perfect depth of bronze as well. It's not too pigmented, so you can build it up to the level that you want it to be. It's not too warm toned, whereas I find something like the Body Shop Honey Bronze, I do really like that, but the shade I have is very warm toned. This has still got a little bit of cool tone in it, so you can still use it for a little bit of shading if you want to. It lasts really well, it blends really nicely. I just really like this bronzer. I really rate it, and again, super affordable. It's a shame they don't do this in more shades because I feel like they just do it in this one shade. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they do just do it in this one shade. And obviously this isn't the best for people with maybe darker skin tones or more olive skin tones, but for me it's perfect. And then for the blush, it is the corresponding blush from the same, they came out at the same time, I think they're part of the same set, and it is the Life's a Peach blush from L'Oreal as well. I used to love really pinky blushes, but I'm really liking more neutral, peachier shades. One of my recent favourites is the Body Shop's all-in-one cheek colour in Macaroon. That's what you would have seen probably my last but 2 video, which I've only had for a couple of weeks, so again I couldn't feel like I should include it. This is really pretty though. This is such a pretty natural peach shade. It's not too yellow toned because I am more neutral tone on my skin with more of like a pinky peachy undertone. So this is perfect for me. But if you do have more like yellow toned skin, sometimes, no, what am I saying? Yeah, but I find like for more coral blushes, they don't necessarily go as well for me because they're too yellow toned. But this is stunning. It's so pretty, it's so natural, it's not too pigmented, it's not like too, you know, subtle. It's just perfect. Again, it blends really nicely, it stays really well. I really like it. Just don't use the brushes that come with these because they're crap. I'm just saying. Just saying it like it is. Let's talk about highlight, shall we? So I have two because I use two every day. So what I tend to do is use a cream or liquid highlight first, and then I set everything down, and then I will then use a powder highlight over the top. So the cream one I have been using is from Colourpop. It's one of their Super Shock cheeks, and it's the shade On the Cusp, which is from the Zodiac collection with Kathleen Lights. This has been very well loved. I love this. It is such a beautiful highlight shade. It is perfect for me. It's got like a bit of goldy peachy pinkiness to it. I don't even know how to describe this shade, but it's just beautiful. It's so stunning. It took me a little while to work out how best to apply it, but what I like to do is take the angled part of my sponge and just pop that along the tops of the cheekbones and then bounce it in with the rounded edge, and then I do it on the cupid's bow and the nose as well, and it just looks beautiful. It just looks very natural, so you get like a really lovely just kind of beautiful glow, and it just lasts really well as well actually for like a cream product. I'm obsessed with this. I really like it, and I definitely want to pick up more of these and test more of them out because I really love the formula. But this shade in particular, On the Cusp, is just beautiful. It's right up my street. I really, really like it. And then for powder highlights, I have been rather enjoying the Soph highlight palette from Revolution. In particular, these two actually. These two shades are beautiful. So this one is more pinky toned. This one is a little bit more gold toned. But they are both very, very pretty. Again, they are pretty much the right kind of depth of colour for me. They're not too in your face. They're not super glittery. They're very kind of natural. Again, they give a very kind of wet, frosted look to the cheeks. They are still very, very pow. And then you also have some more colours. You've got some more bronzy ones if you want to kind of, if you are a little bit darker or you just want a little bit more depth to maybe your bronze, or you want to add a little bit of glow to your bronze, you can do that as well. This palette is only £8, so it's so affordable. It's basically £1 a highlight. I do only tend to really use two of these from here, so then people might say it's a little bit of a waste for a palette, but because of the price and because of how good they are, I don't really mind. And it is beautiful. I do still love my Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighter. That is also one of my faves, but I think I spoke about that last year. And I do still love that, but I didn't want to talk about the same one again because I have been loving this one as well. This has been really, really good. I do like this palette a lot. Moving on to eyes. So this was a little bit of a tricky one because I have really gotten into palettes and like eyeshadows and things this year. Before, I always kept my eyes very plain, went for like the liquid liner. This year I've been experimenting a bit more. I've been playing around my eyeshadow a lot more, and I have a lot of palettes that I love. But it was a toss-up between two. But the winner for me is the Colourpop Disney Designer palette, which is one that I didn't even really know if I would want or not. When it came out, I was like, am I going to want it? Am I, is it worth it? Like, it's very neutral tones. Is it anything different? So good, guys. So good. I use this so much. Like, I use it more than any of my Urban Decay Naked palettes, which have always been my favourites. I'm using it more than my NARS Wanted palette, which I also love. It was a toss-up between this and the Zodiac palette, also from Colourpop, to be quite honest, because both of them are great. But for me, I just use this one a lot more. I love the tones in this. I'm wearing it today. My only issue is I wish there was a mirror. Why is there no mirror? It's just beautiful. So for me, some of the shades in here that are stunning. Grumpy and Triton are like the perfect transition shades. I will either use them separately or together. I've used them together today. Stunning. They're so good. The mattes from Colourpop are so creamy. They blend so nicely. They're so pigmented. They're just brilliant. I've put a bit of Abu on the outer corner just to kind of darken things up, but it's a really good one for that. Ray. What can I say about Ray? Ray is just stunning. It was that kind of champagne-y eyeshadow shade that I didn't know I was missing from my life. But now I know, and I can never go back. Even if I'm not using the rest of the colours from this palette, Ray will generally usually come out to either do my inner corner or just add a little bit something extra to the eyes. I love it. I've got it on my lids today. It's stunning. And actually the metallic formulas from Colourpop are probably some of the best I've ever tried. They are, again, really, really creamy, so pigmented. Like, they apply like a dream. You really don't have to do much. You can either use your fingers or a flat brush, completely up to you. But either way, they are stunning. Enchanted Rose is beautiful. This was like the shade I think I was most excited to try when I got this, and it did not disappoint. It's just stunning, so good, so creamy. This entire palette is beautiful. When I was staring at palettes, I was like, if I had to go away for a week, which one would I take with me? And it is the Disney designer one. It's just incredible. It's really affordable. I believe they do still have this available. The shade's stunning, the quality is there. It's just a really great everyday neutral palette. You can do some extra looks with like some of the pinkier tones, and you've also got like the golds and the silvers in there as well, so you can mix things up a little bit. Obviously if you like your brighter colours, this is potentially not going to be the one for you, but for me, for like an everyday neutral palette that I can just get so many different looks from, this is perfect, and it has been my go-to since I've had it. It's getting darker in here, so I apologise if it's starting to get a bit dark. We're going to zoom through the rest as much as possible. Okay, so for liquid liner, as we were speaking about it, I have picked the Rimmel Scandalise. This is just the Precision Micro Eyeliner. This is so good. I was not expecting to like this as much as I did, but because you have such like a small nib with it, which is currently covered in eyeshadow, you have so much control. I've never felt like I've had so much control over an eyeliner before. It's really easy to use. It's very black. There is no transfer onto the upper lid, which is something I generally tend to have issues with. There's no smudging. It's waterproof. I flip and love it. It's only something like $5.99, so very, very affordable. It is really, really great, and it has overtaken my love for the Stila Stay All Day liquid liner. Just saying, this stuff is incredible. And then for mascara, my Stila Huge Lash Extreme is still my favourite of all time. It's incredible, but I haven't repurchased it this year because it is something like £18, and I rediscovered the Maybelline Lash Sensational. So this is the waterproof version. Okay, so last but not least, we are talking about lipsticks, and I managed to narrow it down a little bit. So I wanted to talk about like my favourite nude, my fave kind of glossy product, and also like my fave bold. So there's like 3 different sections. So in terms of my favourite nude, my absolute favourite for the year has definitely been Colourpop again. It's one of their Cream Luxe lipsticks, and this is again from the Zodiac collection, and it's the What's Your Sign. It's what I'm wearing today. It is honestly just such a beautiful, flattering nude shade. I just haven't been into these colours before, and then I picked this up and I just fell so in love with it. It's beautiful. I love it. The formula, the Cream Luxe lipsticks, are definitely probably one of my favourite formulas of lipsticks ever, and I don't say that lightly. They are just so good. I love them. Can't say enough about them. They're great. And again, very, very affordable. On the more pricier side, there is a MAC one which I've discovered a little bit later this year, but I still wanted to talk about it. And this is kind of sexy. So it's one of the matte formulas. See if I can put it next to it. It's a little bit more peachy toned, so where I'm a little bit more kind of peachy toned skin, it does flatter me a little bit more. But it's so pretty, and I feel like this is going to be worn a lot in summer for me because it's just a really nice summery nude. It's really pretty, and because it's the matte formula, it lasts really well. In terms of a bold lipstick, we have another MAC one. I picked this up back in January, obsessed with it. It is retro, so it's like a really dark kind of bricky red shade. It's so beautiful. I love it. I cannot get enough of it. I've worn it so much where it's been colder. Again, it's one of their satin formulas, which is probably my favourite formula from MAC because it's not too matte, but it's not super glossy, and it has like the staying power of a matte as well, so I really like that. And then for something more glossy and everyday, I really like the L'Oreal Colour Shining Topless. I've spoken about this a few times before. It's just beautiful, and I feel like it makes my entire face glow, to be honest. So we put that one here. Just like a really beautiful glossy nude shade. I've been very into my nudes this year. It's so pretty. This is like my go-to. If there's just I don't want to think about what I'm kind of putting on my face or on my lips, that's what I'll go to. If I have like a really bold eye and I'm like, I don't know what to use, I will go straight to this. So yeah. And that's everything. I'm sorry if that was getting a little bit rushed at the end. It is getting darker in here. where it's getting darker later in the evening. I may even have to like re-record this tomorrow, we will see. But yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. Again, let me know if you've tried any of these, if any of these are your favourites, or if you think there's anything I should try based on what I love. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I will see you all very, very soon. I hope you had a great Christmas. Have a fantastic new year, and yeah, come back again soon. Bye.